occupied zone. The chair is against the wall. The chair is against the wall. John has a long mustache. John has a long mustache. It's 12 o'clock, Americans, another day closer to victory. And for all of you out there on or behind the lines, this is your song.
And welcome everybody to our daily gun show. We'll come to you live each weeknight at midnight Eastern, or maybe a little later, for about an hour. We talk about guns. And we're late tonight. I guess we're an hour late. And maybe you're an hour late. Maybe we're right on time and all your clocks are on. Or if you're listening to this in the future, it's right on time because you don't worry about when it's live. So anyway, we got Gary jumping in from Kansas. Thanks for joining.
Thanks for the invite.
And thanks for that. It looks like you did get the email. So a whole bunch of people have emails out there. Of course, we simulcast this over at gunchannels.com. So anybody that's over on Gun Channels, welcome to jump in as well. And I guess for that matter, anybody that's Patreon, if you wanted to jump in, let us know. But we normally talk about guns, and since we're late, I guess the panel is not showing up. But got a couple of things we could talk about, I guess. Anything going on Foul Territory, your Friday night show?
Just the same old standard stuff. We did mostly talking about guns again, various topics. We started out talking about people making a mess at the outdoor ranges, public ranges and stuff like that. And then we talked about colored guns. A little bit of everything.
So not so much news of the day, just topics.
Yeah, because the news of the day had already been covered pretty much by everybody else, so we tried to stay away from that.
What was the colored guns all about?
Well, mostly I was asking them, do you own any colored guns, or do you, are all your guns black or stainless, or how do you feel about colored guns? We kind of got to talking about it because of Gun Snob's video where he Cerakoted the Glock 42 that his wife is carrying now. So that's kind of what got it started. So, and for the most part, everybody either has blued guns or, stainless. Not a whole lot of color, not even a whole lot of FDE. Not in people that were on my chat anyway.
No, I think they're neat. I don't like the getting into the blues or the reds. I like leaving them as training colors, but when you get into like the goofy blues and pinks and stuff, that's not really blue and red anymore, I guess. But I like the greens for sure. A black silhouette or a black thing in your hands can be pretty obvious, where green can break it up pretty good.
I think some people brought up the concern that a criminal might think that it's not a real gun if somebody got it out. So
I don't know about that. What was the consensus on that?
Well, the consensus was I don't get out my gun to show people. I get out my gun when it needs to be used. So at that point, it's going to be moot whether or not they believe it's real or not. Because
exactly. You're not like, hey, look what I got here. See how chrome it is? Now you're intimidated or whatever.
Yeah, take a good look at this before I shoot you with it. Yeah.
All right, threw a whole bunch of more links out there. Pretty much everybody that's commenting has links at this point. So we'll just keep going, like if, I guess they're just watching. So it's Free Patch Friday, so I want to say thanks to the people that have purchased things over at the store today. A bunch of stuff went out before I left earlier, so it went out with the mail. And all that stuff went out with some of the new plastic crap that I've been playing with. So I've been kind of playing with some of the materials and things. So you got some of the first runs of that stuff, along with the free patches and stickers and things. And then I was pleasantly surprised to see a whole bunch of orders came in. And can't imagine how much I appreciate that. It's not a lot of money here, so every little bit helps. And when bills come in or whatever, that's how it gives me time to concentrate on other efforts. So I really do appreciate people that participate in the Free Patch Friday, and that's every Friday over at your website store. And it's neat to see there's some repeat orders. I think today the fifth order went out to one person, and then a whole bunch of first orders, which is always good to see. And I appreciate the people that are finding the store. That's always good to know that it's still working as a interesting thing for people that have never come across it before. And then the repeat orders is, of course, very much appreciated. And hopefully it's something that you either can use or pass along to somebody else who will appreciate it. So hopefully we're not just passing junk along. And in the process, we're funding some stuff. So I was thinking about looking back at the week. I don't really have much in here as far as nothing really. I thought I kind of have the show scheduled, but I haven't filled in every topic of everyone like we did yesterday. For example, we had some pretty good topics to talk about. But I thought I'd look back at the week a little bit. And since nobody else is jumping in here, we're going to look back at the week. So if anybody wants to chat about something specifically, I guess you can ask a question. And whenever we get back to looking at the comments, we can address those. But I'm not really interested in doing shows like that. There's plenty of people that'll just talk to you about whatever is on your mind. Let's take a look at what happened over on Gun Channels this week. So we have gunchannels.com, right? It's about 6 years old. It's going on 6 years old. So it's a place. It's a website, I guess. It's a platform, I guess you could call it. I like to think of it as a community. It's really just a place where people get together and communicate. And we have a couple of tools over here. The biggest one probably is the main news feed. We can create a channel. You can post calendar events. But really, it's the main news feed that people use, I think, quite a bit. And that's what we're going to look at. So we're just logged into Gun Channels. And when you log in, you're taken to this main page here. You get a banner that will rotate. In other words, it'll be different every time you refresh the page. It was just up there for Night Strike's Hit or Miss show. Now it's up there for Gunstreamer. Now it's back to the Hit or Miss. So that'll just be random. Below that, you've got the schedule of live shows. Quite a few people do live shows, mostly in prime time in the evenings. But anybody who wants to do a live show, you're welcome to ask to put it on the schedule. We'll be happy to do that. All that we ask is that you post the shows on Gun Channels. And then we're in the live feed already, so that's really what we're looking at. So we got the posting for this show. Got Patriot out there, worried about the snow, and it is snowing pretty good. In fact, I've been driving all around, and kind of rainy, you know, because it doesn't stay very long here normally. So it either melts or the rain comes and washes it away. And pretty much all around town, it's good to go. It's everything, all the snow's gone. It's just wet. I get back over here and everything's white. So we're still living in snow right now. Definitely weird for this place. I've been here a while, and this is one of very, very few times where snow stuck around more than just a few hours, really.
Yeah, I was wondering if you ever got that much snow there.
Very rarely. I mean, if you go up the hill, yeah, but at the 2,400 feet or 2,400 feet that Tucson is, very rarely. We can see snow. All we got to do is look up. But usually snow starts around like 6,000 feet, so we have to look, you know, a couple of thousand foot up the 9,000 foot mountain, and we can see snow all winter, but it doesn't get down here. It doesn't stick down here. But anyway, we're looking at now Pawnery's. Well, it's not his, but somebody posted these goofy looking, I guess, unicorn scorpions. So it's a CZ Scorpion, or somebody took like I think that's like a hobby horse or some sort of like a large enough pony that probably was like a rocking horse or something, and or one of those things called for that to go around a circle.
Carousel?
Yeah, carousel.
Maybe. So they took a head off of one of them kind of horses and then crammed it on the front of a CZ Scorpion and then painted the whole thing like pink and light green and blue so it looks stupid, and put some kind of rainbow mane on it made out of plastic. So I don't know. I guess people think these are funny or whatever. It seems to me like it's dangerously close to AOW. As soon as you make a gun look like something else, then you disguise the gun. This isn't really disguising it, but I don't know. I guess it's art, right? Art / humor.
Yeah, it would be to me, but I don't know how the law would treat it. That's the important thing.
I don't think it would treat it as anything other than a gun, because it doesn't really look like anything else. It still has a pistol grip. It still has a trigger. But, you know, some of these things that look like a DeWalt, like they'll paint it all up like a power saw or like a video game thing. Some of those, I don't know. I could see a potential issue if somebody decided to be a big jerk about it. And then we're scrolling down and still on today. We're just in the last couple hours. Looks like Artisan Tony got himself a brand. So you can have a brand made, which is basically just a piece of metal with your design on it. And then you heat that sucker up and you smush it into a piece of leather. And just like a cow, you'll get a brand on there. I don't know if they're all for heating up, though, because you can also get the kind that you just wet the leather and you smush it and it leaves it like embossed or whatever. And that's the word, embossed.
Yeah, they got some that preheat themselves too, where you can
that might be what he's got here, because it doesn't look like it's all burnt or nothing. It just looks like an iron piece of metal. So it looks like he's able to make some 2afund.com patches out of chunks of cow skin. Good for Tony. Got Gizzard's Foul Territory. That was 4 hours ago. Just told us about that show. Got Budget, who also has links, and he's not jumping in. But he had a show earlier today, it looks like. Let's see, tonight we're talking about whether or not Benchmade is anti-gun, how the Dems don't want ICE notified when illegals try to buy a gun. Kentucky's moving towards constitutional carry and more. So Dems don't want ICE notified when an illegal tries to buy a gun. Interesting. I don't want anybody notified when anybody tries to buy a gun. So that's I wonder how that went. Looks like Galloway Precision just joined Gun Channels earlier today, so welcome aboard. And Travis went live for Caliber Corner. That's an unusual one. Anybody stick around for that? It's not Saturday, is it?
No, he did an afternoon show real quick about reloading stuff. Basically unboxing some stuff that Squib had sent him.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So then, Patriot, got your picture here. Looks like you went to the couch or something and stuck down a blanket.
That's actually, it was on a bed with a big pillow behind it.
Okay.
Kind of thing. Yeah.
Right on.
Daughter's idea.
Yeah, good background. We'd get lost if there was like a pattern on whatever it was, like a bedspread or something.
Yeah. Yeah, I like solid.
Knives posted something about HR 1263 to amend the Internal Revenue Code 1986 to subject requirements National Anti-Semi-Automatic Detachable Magazine. So I don't know what that's about, but it looks shitty. That goes to Congress.gov.
Yeah, that's, I think, isn't that the one that's trying to get all semi-autos that have detachable mags on the NFA because of the IRS portion of it?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. That means instead of going the right direction, that's throwing more stuff on the 6-month wait leave, just in case that, yeah. You might want to read into that one.
Okay, well, that's what I'm doing.
I don't know if that's the exact number, but I know that the other one, I thought it was.
Let me go over to firearmspolicy.org, and we're looking at HR 1263. So I'm going to go to their Take Action tab, which is one of the best resources on the internet right now. When you click on that and scroll down, you're going to find first the federal and then the state level. As I scroll down, there's a lot of federal and then the state level stuff. This will be both anti and pro-gun. Of course, unfortunately, most of it's anti right now. And this was 1263. So let's find out what 1263 was or is. Assuming it's here. Don't see it in here. So is this a new one?
Yeah, the one I heard about earlier, I thought it was like 11, 12 or something, like 3 ones in a row. I'm not certain though.
This one says HR. So I'm going to take the link that Knives posted here, and this takes us to Congress.gov to amend the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 to subject the requirements of the NFA any semi-automatic rifle that has the capacity to accept a detachable magazine. Oh, sure, that's no big deal. It really should have been buttoned up when they first did it in 34, really. So do we get a summary? Summary is in progress. So they haven't even written anything about it. That's why it's not on FPC yet. But it looks like it's, I guess, what you just said, because it really doesn't say anything else other than it was created by Deutsch. Theodore Deutsch. I don't know how to say this in his native tongue. Deutsch. Theodore Deutsch, I think. I'm not saying it right. Maybe
Sounds about right.
maybe it's pronounced douche. So yeah, that's thanks Knives for that. I guess we'll have to start paying attention to another one, right? That's how they're going to get us, by attrition. They're going to whale the shit out of us. All of us are going to get tired and frustrated. This isn't interesting anymore, and I didn't win, so I'm going to go do something else where I can feel good about myself. And that's what they're going to pile the shit on, or continue to pile it on, because it's just going to be like anti-gun laws coming out of a toothpaste tube that just some big fat idiot's going to be sitting on, and it's just going to keep squirting out of there, squirting out of there. So. Next is Snob talking about the little Tiffany blue gun that you guys started talking about colored guns about. Posting his YouTube video over here instead of a gun streamer video, but he can do what he wants. Free country, there's no laws. Got Mr. Knives. Mr. Knives hosts a live lobby pretty much every single day and sometimes twice a day. So anybody that wants to support Mr. Knives, if you head over to his channel, which is gunchannels.com with a slash at the end there, and you put in the word knives, that'll take you to his channel. And over on the right here, Angelina makes up a bunch of stickers and gives them to us for free. And then I post them up here for 25 bucks. And you buy them off of me, and I give 20 bucks to Knives, and the 5 bucks goes to putting them in the mail, getting them to you. Bubble wrap envelope and insurance. And then as soon as that 25 bucks comes in, 20 bucks goes over to PayPal to Mr. Knives. Doesn't happen a lot. I think about 120 bucks so far, and a good chunk of that has been Russ, but and a couple other people. But anybody that's interested is always welcome. There's no obligation, but you're welcome to help Knives out. Got Travis. Again, he's addicted to reloading now, so we'll see him fall down that rabbit hole. Eventually, he'll just be like one of the other, like, oh, you're going to use that brass? You're going to keep that brass? He's going to be one of them people. Got Yoder talking about, yeah, we talked about this one last night, so go watch last night's show, and you hear us talking about Yoders. Or did we do that off air? We might have done that off air, so you might not be able to watch last night's show. Clover Tech show last night was about the YouTube strikes. So Clover is a creator interested in sharing his knowledge. He goes to creator get-togethers where other YouTubers, not specifically gun people, but people that are using the YouTube platform and interested in how they do their thing, and brings that information back to us in the gun community. So it's an awesome resource. So we talked a bit about how YouTube's changing things up. What's all this about? DTP is posting something here about local gun groups flex muscle in state politics. Missouri Senate Bill 656, introduced in 2016, was relatively modest legislation that provided capping the amount of county sheriffs could charge for a concealed handgun permit. Interesting. That might be worth checking out. We got Work, who posted his channel or his show over here. He also has a channel, so he's still figuring out how to work on channels. Anybody that wants to check out an interesting gun podcast like Straight 100% Guns, go check it out. Not as much as the slap acid and all the inside jokes and stuff. There might be a few, but it seemed like a bunch of people that are really interested in chatting about guns. You can do like a 2-hour show over there. And he's got a channel here, so give him all the encouragement you can to bring his projects over, and encourage you to collaborate with him. Looks like a good resource for gun stuff. Obnoxious went live yesterday with that Tulsa chat. I think we talked about that for sure yesterday in the show. Fine Ape was asking about that. I think he's got a link here tonight too. I don't know if he's out there though. And then I think I sent most of the people I know that are going to Tulsa the information on the hotel. So thanks to Roll Call and thanks to Obnoxious for getting in, figuring all that stuff out and then distributing it to everybody. We'll find out if anybody needs info on the hotels and stuff. Talk to one of them too, or me, or anybody else really, because I think everybody's got it now. And if you know of somebody who doesn't have it, let's get them that info so we can all make it a fun trip.
Yep, I already got my rooms reserved.
Awesome. How many rooms you got?
Well, just one for me.
Okay. Like, well, I want to have 4. I don't want Night Strikes.
Man, George needs one too now.
So that's where we're using gun channels like it's supposed to be for, right? Because he didn't know he wants to go or whatever, and boom, right then we had a show and he didn't even know about it. So that's what gun channel is all about. Looks like Flippy might be going as well. In fact, this will be the largest gun channels thing ever, and it'll also be amazing. I think you'll be surprised how many people are showing up this year. We had an interview with Cheryl Todd last night, and that went pretty well. Check that out over on the Gun Websites channel. Got Snob. What's he talking about here? Did you guys see this video on how to stop gun control in one easy step?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Yes. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I thought so too. At first, I was like, "What's this clickbait crap?" But no, it was a good video, and I don't think it was pandering or wasting time or preaching the choir. None of that. I think it was a pretty decent vid that somebody could show, like, to somebody, and they would go. Basically, it was next generation, right?
Yeah, bringing new people in and
not getting a big like trip about if it's video games or what that might introduce them, but instead just deal with it and let them have some fun, experience some guns. I don't know if he did that in reaction to the whole Hickok thing or not.
I'm not sure. I know it was out. Well, I don't know how long. That's been a couple of days since that Hickok thing, right?
Yeah, but I'm also thinking Snob doesn't like see something and immediately post something in reaction. He usually posts on his schedule about what he's doing. Yeah. But they might just be coincidence that they're kind of like topics. Then we got your picture of that Bushmaster bullpup thing.
Yeah, M17S.
I'm going to scroll through a little bit because we're basically still in the middle of Thursday, I think. So Al is over here saying he sure missed the late night chats. I do too. So this is a pretty late show, especially tonight when we started an hour early or late. But often, well, throughout the 6 years now, 5.5 years of gun channels, there's been people that run chats like Knives does in the evenings at late nights, and those can be some of the most lively, most risque chats that you'll ever experience. So yeah, if somebody wants to jump in and be a host, it wears you out. We've burned through them. Pink burned out doing it. Potatoes burned out doing it. Poor Zorro, he only was able to do it like 3 or 4 times. Completely burned him out. Angelina, you think she's hardy? Burned her right out. So you got to have some fortitude, right? Some grit, and then you could be the late night. What would that be? The ambassador to late night?
Sounds good.
Amazing.
Guru.
It's an amazing thing when it happens. Let's see. So now we got Pants talking about something in Ohio. Legislator fix introduced to correct drafting E. So they were drafting a bunch of E's, and they got to fuck rid of that. Senate Government Oversight and Reform Committee could soon consider Senate Bill 53. Anybody know what this is?
No.
Don't either.
No,
So this
I
is
don't.
NRA ILA's website, and it looks like it's all about revised code. Clarify that certain firearms are not dangerous ordnance and declare an emergency. Specifically, Senate Bill 53 seeks to correct the drafting error made by some other commission on the final version of HB 228, which already passed in 2018, which includes an emergency clause, which means that it will become effective immediately being signed by the... I don't know what the hell this is. Can this be any... Does anybody make sense of this? Just
Evidently, it's correcting an error in a bill that came out last year that some people have interpreted as doing some pretty bad stuff. So they're going in to correct the legislation that was passed because it was worded incorrectly.
I guess it was worded with dangerous ordnance, and this is to include a revision that clarifies certain firearms are not dangerous ordnance. Man, when the NRA can't be like a little bit more black and white about it, when they say to clarify that certain firearms are not dangerous ordnance, I'm skeptical, and I don't know if it's I'm just skeptical. I was touching it. Wish I wasn't, because I don't like to cause doubt, but the hell, NRA. So anyway, Pat's posted that, and we'll be moving that over, scooting that over, let's say, to Every Second Matters at some point, some kind of periodic basis. Posted this the other day, and Cycle hasn't been around since, so you think he got pissed? He's hanging out with these hot spy chicks with an Uzi.
I can't imagine why. It looks pretty flattering to me.
They did a cartoon of an old Soldier of Fortune magazine with this guy racking an Uzi, like in the 70s or something, with these weird jeans on. And then took some spy chicks and stick them behind him, etiquette and stuff. Let's see. Then we had the Daily Gun Show the other day. Then we have Budget posting something about shooting glasses with some the kind of bifocals flipped upside down, it looks like. So when you're looking through a scope, they actually have the correct prescription. I don't know if you guys wear glasses, but that's certainly freaking annoying.
Yep, I wear bifocals. It can be a pain in the butt.
Did you ever have to deal with that, Patriot?
In the Marines, I wore, whatever for distance and stuff, but I shot better without them, just because, So no bifocals though. No.
I mean, they're not really bifocals, just that like when you wear prescription glasses or what, like towards the edges they get weird, and when you're
like fisheye or something, like
kind of, yeah,
or something.
Yeah, they just, I don't know what they're doing. They probably do that so it's not distracting when you're looking straight through them or whatever. There's some reason that they get bigger at the edges, but when you tilt your head and you're looking like up through your glasses, like if you were going to look up at somebody, like you said, what? And you're looking like up your glasses through the scope, what happens? You get all that weirdness. So these are bifocals up on top and kind of centered so that, again, looking through binoculars or an optic or probably a telescope for bird watchers and shit like that would probably use them too. We got a code over on the Spreadshirt, right? Save 15. So now until the 25th, everything you buy over there is 15% off with that code. But if the thing you buy is green, it's 20% off because of probably Valentine's Day, I guess.
St. Patrick's Day. It's next month.
Probably that. Or maybe because of Clover. Clover's pretty big deal over Spreadshirt. So, yeah, anybody wants to work on anybody's stores. Does everybody in here have a store? You have a store, Patriot?
Not yet. I'm working on the stickers first, and then once I sweet talk Angelina, then I'll get my image, and then I'll bring it over there.
Right on. She's got a link also. Didn't join. She hates us. So, but you could buy a shirt, and it would get 20% off. And that works on everybody's store. So it works on Gary's store. It works on Clover's store. Ghost has a store over there. Budget. I don't know. Everybody has a store over there. Go use them. Think about it. If you were going to buy 10 shirts, now you can buy 11 shirts. No, 12 shirts.
Yeah, I just bought 2.
Yeah, summer's coming. Get your short sleeve shirts.
Yeah, I got my first Every Second Matters and my first Gun Channel shirt, which I'm wearing right now.
We're going to have to start some fad where people buy like a Gun Channel shirt and then, like, I don't know, shoot it or something to ruin it. And then that way they'd have to buy another Gun Channel shirt.
That might work.
When I was a kid, we'd go to camp and you could buy like t-shirts at the camp or whatever, right? But then it was cool, at least for a minute there, to like buy your shirt and then take it over to the rifle range and shoot it with a shotgun. And then it would have like a big tattered hole in it. Moms hated that very much, but we all it was hell, right? Having a big hole. And then you'd be like, well, I ran it around normal in the rest of the year. Where'd you get that big hole? Oh, I shot this with a shotgun. Like,
it's a lot better than having everybody just sign it or something.
Or just having like the, like, oh, they make these jeans and then they immediately take them out and tear them and then put them through this extra like 6 wash machines and then they sell them to you.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we got your core belt. I noticed that do you know your core belt review video is trending on the Gunstreamer?
No, actually, because from the app, I look for it, and when I go to like my videos, usually it skips like 2, like the newest ones. It won't be on there for a week or something. So I went over there today and found it on the desktop. So that's cool.
Well, it was trending last time I was over here, which was earlier today, and now it looks like Obnoxious screwed you over, and some other people that are over there. And then Clover Tech screwed you over. He's got like 2, maybe 3 videos trending right now. But you were like, whatever this one is, like second video.
Nice.
So maybe tags, maybe the thumbnail. I don't know. You have that revolver right in the center of the circle of the belt or whatever. Maybe that somehow drew people's to it or something. But good work.
Hey, I like that.
Got 3 thumbs on the gun channels. That's pretty good for gun channels. Nobody ever thumbs shit over here. They thumb over on YouTube all the time, right? Oh yeah.
Yep.
Look at this. 11 thumbs over there. All right. So Knives posting something about U.S. representatives. Ask them to vote AGA. So from now on, they should be voting AGA. I guess that means against H.R. 8 and H.R. 1112. That's probably the one you're talking about.
Yeah.
So let's see what H.R. 1112 is. I'm sure I've seen that one over here. No. Is it Senate bill or House bill? HR and HR 8. I know HR 8 is over here. HR 8 is the universal background checks for the entire nation. But they're calling HR 112 Pelosi Bloomberg gun control bill. So I guess I don't know what 1112 is. And that one's
Isn't there?
FBC.
There's one that they're trying to remove that 3-day limit and push it out to like 10 days or something. 10 business days instead of regular days.
Oh, here we go. That's the one. HR 1112 would allow government to arbitrarily delay firearms purchases for over 20 days and make it more difficult for law-abiding Americans to defend themselves and their families. Well, whatever. So basically arbitrarily delay firearms purchases for over 20 days. Yeah, that's messed up.
Yeah, because I think they were saying it was like business days instead of, just 3 regular days that it would be now. If you go on a Saturday or something, then by, Monday you're all right. Now it's going to go Monday through Friday and then skip over the weekend and then, continue on that following week or something. Which obviously that pushes it out.
20 is even more though, and it says arbitrarily, so it sounds like they do want to add like even more infringement to all that.
Yeah. Well, there's like an appeal or something that if you don't get it after the 10 days, you have to appeal it and ask the ATF to check it again or what, however that process is. I don't know.
Well, right now they have to do a background check, and from what I understand, they'll background check, like if your name is John Smith, they're going to background check John Smiths in your area. So if there's like 6 assholes who are named John Smith that are felons or something, then they're going to deny you or they're going to delay you. And then they're going to go through and try to find other ways. And if they can't determine one way or the other, then basically nothing happens and you buy the gun. So they're probably going to try to make it where if they can't figure something out in 3 days, you can't buy the gun. Because that would be their tendency to see more restriction, more infringement.
Yeah. I think the way that I heard it was, that instead of the 3 days, it gives them up to 10 days to check. And if it doesn't go through, then you have to appeal it for another 10 days or something. And they will give you a second time to have them check it or something. But it's still putting it in their, their field or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. Guns and Gadgets, I think he put out, something on it. I don't listen to him very much, but
yeah, he definitely puts out a lot of watchdog type videos.
Yeah, and he was talking about it somewhere like over Black Friday and just how the weekends are and holidays and how it would end up that by the end if you've got pushed to the very end and they approved you, it would be after that 30-day limit that the background check is good for, so you'd have to start over or something.
Oh, I see.
It was
ultimate circumstances. It would be 20 days.
Yeah. It's kind of like a 20 business days, and you throw in holidays and stuff, and that could push it out past where you basically have to start over or something. But I don't know. I mean that's just.
Well, it's stuff that you look at,
extreme.
because when they create laws that they don't pay attention to details like that, then number one, screw them, and number two, they can be challenged on little nuance like that and say this law is void because it can't happen in these circumstances or something.
Yeah.
All right, so that takes us to Pants saying that bill was put together by our local gun rights organization, the Buckeye Firearms Association, which is a good organization. Let's see what we got over here. Give them a name like passwords. What we're doing over here. Oh, they're trying to name a kid. We're going to name this person's kid. We don't know if it's a boy or girl, Gary, so what are we naming this kid?
Trigger.
Pat?
Pat, and then Trigger, and I'm going to say Emilio.
Emilio.
So that's your 3 options. You're welcome. That's the kind of services we provide over here. Let's see, anybody else saying anything? Some folks are afraid that the bill inadvertently banned AR-15s. This is an amendment to fix that. What to do about nothing. These glasses let you see your site clearly. Yep. He's got a link. I don't know why he doesn't jump over here. Note to self, don't give the government another damage. All right, that's pretty good advice. All right, where were we at? We're over here. So we'll keep going. We got Gun Gramps McGrain, fairly new member of Gun Channels, I think. At least one of the first videos I've seen. He's unboxing a tac pack in front of this little kid. And anybody watch this video?
No, I haven't.
Nope.
I haven't either. So I don't know if this little kid is happy, but I'm guessing anytime you open up a box in front of a little kid, they're going to dig it, right?
Yeah.
Especially if they get stuff.
It's a little kid. He's sitting in a high chair, so it looks like he's eating something. He's already eaten on something. And that's a pretty cool way to do the unboxing, though. With Clover's thing about Thursday, though, like somebody could be a jerk and be like, he's exploiting that little kid. So I don't know. I guess you have to worry about shit like that nowadays. But you got another new member. I don't know if everybody else gets these new member things. It's probably because, you know, I'm an admin or whatever. Knives, you notice how many of these posts are Mr. Knives running chats. Every time he did one of them, that's another 8-hour chat that he hosted. Got Travis talking about, wait, is he taking this to Benchmade to be chopped? Or no, this is how to clean an SKS. Roll call talking about his shirts and sweatshirts. I guess he didn't go the spreadshirt way, so he got his actually made, I think, unless he's talking about ordering his own office sweats spreadshirt. Anybody know how he's sourcing his shirts or his sweatshirts, I guess?
I
don't really know, to tell you the truth.
I don't think he's, well, I haven't heard him say it. Then look at this. Taters. Remember Taters? He used to post things. Last Tuesday at 10:30 he posted one. So thanks for that. Okay, I'm done chewing. So next we got PBR letting us know about George Mendoza, who was the dude that kissed that nurse on VJ Day back in the days when we ended World War II. And unfortunately that guy died at, what, 95 years old?
I believe so.
So cool dude. He was Navy though, huh?
Yeah.
You do. So you got to give them something, right? They're driving around boats all the time. Give them a little.
Yeah,
something.
they could give you a ride. I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, they carry all the heavy stuff, fuel probably.
Have to wear those dog bowl hats. You know, that's always kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know what those are good for, though? I've noticed a lot of times if you've got porpoises, you can throw that out, and a porpoise will come up from underneath and grab it. Yeah, so they get a lot of fun with the porpoises with that kind of hats.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of those around here.
But if you did, then you'd want to have a bunch of them Navy hats.
And you know, it's funny. They all dress like Jake in the Blues Brothers when he's at Joliet. It's kind of a kickback why they're not supposed to wear their stuff off base or whatever, because they look like they belong at Joliet, maybe. Dungarees.
Yeah, like the old prison suit.
Yeah.
So then we got Sarge talking about, I guess he's got some kind of swag pack where they're giving away a CZ Scorpion. I don't know the details, but I think they're giving away a CZ Scorpion. I think that's what I read. Then we got Sandhills posted something about a show, his 2A show on Tuesday, 2A Tuesday. Then we got here. Snob got his rifle. We call this rifle. I can't think of the damn word for the rifle bag. I guess it's just a rifle bag. What was I trying to think of? Sheath or scabbard or something? I don't know. Anyway, a rifle range bag. Maybe that's what I was thinking. From Savior. It's not Sabor. Savior. I don't know. Something about that word.
I would say it's Savior.
We got Coast. Did his show on Tuesday. Was this the week that he had? I can't ever remember her name. uh, the lady from
Washington.
I
Carrie.
believe that was the week before.
Okay, so this was just no, this was it, wasn't it? Unifying our two-way organizations. I guess let's find out right now. One of the nice things about gun channels is when you're looking down the main page like this, and people go to the trouble of hosting it on their channel. Look at this. This was posted on Tuesday. We can go watch it right now. Literally watch it right now. And no, this is when he had Yuta on. That's what it was. So as much as just it was, I enjoy. And then you can always go look at it on the stupid YouTube if you want, or watch on GunStreamer. Okay, so this was the week with Yuta, Yuju. And then we got Blue Steel posting something. Illinois is blazing an example of why point of contact states are a bad idea. The point of contact state of Illinois, with its special state mandated database, incidentally allowing them access to DHS records, is further evidence that these anti-freedom state governments should simply require the FFL themselves to run a simple NICS check like the less dysfunctional areas of the United States, expecting on an already overworked and understaffed Department of State Police to conduct these checks and maintain their own special database when an already established central NICS is in place is absolutely asinine. I foresee the blaming of another state or the Illinois state government agency's lack of needed authority for the problem at hand. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know if you follow all that, but most of the states after 94, 96 had to use NICS, right? After the stupid Brady bill was judged unconstitutional, they put stupid NICS in its place. So now there's a database or whatever that you that's maintained by the FBI, I guess, and you call in if you're a gun shop with an FFL. You call in when someone wants to order a fire or buy a firearm, take possession of a firearm with a 4473. Just kind of talked about that a minute ago. So most states, like he's saying, the less dysfunctional states, you as a gun shop owner call into the NICS, which is the FBI, and that's your background check. But shitty states like Illinois and a couple of 9 others, I don't remember, a couple of others, that's not enough for them. NICS is horrible infringement, but not enough of a horrible infringement. So those gun shops don't call NICS, they call the state of Illinois. State of Illinois calls NICS and their own database. So that usually takes longer, and these states don't care because they have background or they have waiting periods. So it works great for them. But what I think Blue Steel is saying is this is bullshit. Number one, why do you want to make the states have to put this extra burden? Well, they do because they want an infringement. But with that additional burden, you got delays and you got costs and stuff. So he's saying, what's all that about? And then the other thing is, of course, as soon as you have a system like Illinois, which has their own database, which is above and beyond NICS, somebody's going to say, I think what he's trying to say here, somebody's going to say something happened in North Carolina because the person did the bad thing was on Illinois' list, but not on NICS. So Illinois should be sharing their list. And then it could be a thing where, like, I don't know, definitely a slippery slope to even more and more infringements.
What about that guy from Illinois that they had all that issue where he got his Voight card, got a pistol, and then went for his concealed carry, and he was denied because he had a felony?
I don't know.
Is that something that Illinois missed because it was out of state? I don't know. I was just throwing that up because that just happened.
I don't know the details, but the FOID is an ID card in order to own and possess a firearm in Illinois, and it might have a level of, what do you call it, like, what's the word, like, a qualification level that's like, I'm pointing as high as my chest, but then if you want a CCW, you need qualification level up here, and now I'm pointing over my head. So, like, maybe to get an FOID, they do some work, but then when you want to carry, they do even more, and that's where they figure that out. Or I'm sure many people just hear the gist of that story and suggest either, there's not enough, or there's too many, or whatever. But
and in between, he bought a firearm as well.
Just person to person.
I don't know the details.
I don't remember if they have universal background checks in Illinois. If Dano, who has a link, would have joined, we would know that. He didn't.
Yeah.
All right, so now we get to Grand Man. Post quite a bit. Folks freak out even in my small town. So, man with a weapon at someplace had a concealed carry. I think this was like a teacher or somebody. Somebody saw a gun and freaked out. Then you got Black Cat posted a show. I think he was Cork in my Tuesday Minuteman University. That's where we started the Patch Batch project. You want to see a secret?
Of course.
Well, hear about a secret for Patriot, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm jumping into the new Patch Batch, so we can take a look at what some of the patches are going to look like. So we're going to have a Florida Carry patch, and it's going to look like their logo. We're going to do something with Every Second Matters. I might screw with it. I'm thinking orange and yellow and maybe some other color. We're going to have 2A Fund, Artisan Tony's 2A Fund. There's a logo for that one. We got 2A4E. That's Tony Simon up in New Jersey. 2A4E logo, kind of like a blue shield, red, white, and blue motif. Florida Carry is just some patriot guy standing on a rock with like a, I don't know, some kind of long rifle, kind of at, what the fuck is that? Like low ready, I guess. Kind of like what you do if you stood on top of a hill when you're taking a break, looking out over the view. And that's sort of a silhouette with the state of Florida dangling next to him, like some sort of phallic thing. And then you got Clover's, what is that, a buck mark on front of a clover? I don't know if that's what he's going to do for his patch. He's probably not. I just thought it would be a cool patch, so I stuck it there. But that's to indicate Clover is going to be in there. Never Enough Ammo. It's a shitty-ass version of it, but it's going to look something like that, I think. We talked to Matt. His patch will look something like that. He's never done a patch before. We got Gun Tube, and that's Night Strike's logo. We got Gun Streamer, and it'll look something we don't know yet. They're coming up with their design, so I just put a placeholder in here. We got Ghost. I'm hoping he'll do this one because I think that's a cool one, and he's only done it embroidered, but he may fiddle with it. I'm not sure. Got Pew Pew. Jew is going to be doing something else besides this. He's already done this patch before, so he'll do probably something funny or some kind of cartoon or something. And then Yankee will be doing the his like Glock Kool-Aid patch. So I think that's 11, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And then we'll have a 12th, which will be a TDA at this point. And I think we're looking at 180 people, something like that. So anyway, working on that. And I think we started work. Oh, go ahead.
When's that start? Where you can start purchasing?
I got to do my taxes again, and I'm getting in trouble for not doing my taxes soon enough. So I wanted to say I was going to work on it tomorrow, but I really have to work on taxes again tomorrow. So soon. I should have been doing it last week. You know, I wish I had more time. But it'll be before that. The patches will be done and in people's hands before NRA show. So
yeah. Okay.
Starting sooner than later. Anyway, we started talking about that on Tuesday. Got a lot of it nailed down, and really, I needed to get. I knew I had a couple of people that said sure, but I didn't want to nail it down with a bunch of people before we got too far with it. So we did all that on Tuesday. I was talking about California struggles to seize guns from people who shouldn't have them, and I think that's about that whole deal with. Oh, maybe it isn't. I was going to say I think that's from people who had registered their guns, and then they started going door to door now that their guns are illegal, even though they registered them and grabbing them from people. But I think this is actually something different. It says California struggled to enforce a unique state law that allows officials to seize guns from people with criminal convictions or mental health problems, leaving firearms in the hands of thousands of people legally barred from owning them. Wait.
It's like they don't have enough people to collect them or something?
Allows officials to seize guns from people with criminal convictions or mental health problems, leaving firearms in the hands of thousands of people legally barred from owning them. I don't know what this is. I guess I'll click on it. That doesn't make sense. It sounds like they want no one to own guns. California struggles to seize guns from people that shouldn't have them. Let's see if any of these guns are even legal in California. Do you think any of these pictures are from California? Nothing about any of these are compliant with California. like a Thompson, a HK, a Galil, or what is this? A Kate. What's the South Africa or South Korean one? Daewoo.
Yeah, Daewoo.
AK, FAL with a folding stock, Thompson, an RPK, and old ass like an M16 looking thing. It says that these are legally seized firearms from Los Angeles. A new police force targeting people who aren't allowed to have guns has led to the arrest of 35 people and the seizure of more than 100 firearms. That's almost 3 firearms each. Firearms since 2018. California Attorney General, some guy touted the Los Angeles Task Force work at the news conference Tuesday, but acknowledged that an ever-increasing backlog of prohibited possessors remains. So it looks like California has struggled to enforce a unique law that allows officials to seize guns from people with criminal convictions or mental health problems. I guess what they're saying, leaving firearms in the hands of thousands because they've struggled. So it's because they've struggled they haven't been able to get all the guns they wanted.
Yeah, because there's probably not enough people to go grab them all.
Yeah, they need more gun grabbers.
Yeah,
maybe illegals could do it, because
hey,
we don't want to make them work, but maybe if we gave them the guns, right?
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
We'll give it to them if they go back. No.
So legislators first took note of the problem in 2013 after a gun massacre. A bunch of people that were all kids, and set aside $24 million to reinvigorate the firearm seizure program. A representative for then Attorney General, blah, 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 said eliminating a backlog that had grown to nearly 20,000 people was their top priority and estimated it could be done in 3 years. So let's do a little bit Camellia Harris math here. So I'm going to grab my little calculator, drag that over here, and we're going to go, what is this, 20,000 people? And then we're going to divide that by the 3 years, and that's 6,666 people. So we'll divide that by 365, and that's about 18 people a day. So she wants to go grab guns from 18 people a day. That's not unreasonable, is it? No big deal. Just send out a couple of cops, like mailmen. Mailmen go to more than 18 houses in a day. Realistic. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, you could just have your guns tied up by your mailbox when they're illegal, and then the mailman or the ATF man could just pick them up.
They just
remember how they would say, bring out your dead?
Bring out your dead.
Bring out your unregistered firearms. Yeah.
We'd just give them a new little patch that,
So it says, so whatever. Somehow they weren't able to seize 18 people's worth of guns every day. So it says 6 years later, the state has been able to cut the hit list only in half. 6 years, only in half. As of July, the backlog of it's amazing. It's just that people who own illegal guns and shouldn't even own them in the first place. It's like they don't wait around for the cops to come take them. It almost seems like they're trying to get away from the cops taking their guns. Weird.
It's like they don't care anything about the law. I don't understand.
Exactly. It's frustrating. Maybe there should be more laws.
That'll fix it.
Look at this. Attorney blah, blah, blah called it a phenomenally successful program in terms of not only recouping weapons, but also never having an incident where anyone's been hurt during a gun seizure. It's amazing. All right, I'm quitting to read that one. That one is horribly frustrated. But thanks, Snipes, for posting that. He has to deal with shit like that daily. And instead of being a dick about it, he posts a live chat so that people can get together and talk about guns or talk about Connery's little tiny dog with the little man knot. What is that thing called? Hair knot? No. What do they call that thing?
Little hair on top?
The top knot. Yeah, dudes now think it's cool to wear lumberjack clothes and get a beard and then wear their hair like a samurai. So they put a little knot up on top of their head.
Ed Grimley?
No, like a knot. Like they have long hair, but they put their ponytail up on. Or no, wait. What do they do? They wad up their hair into there? I don't really know what they do. I don't do that stuff. Yeah. There's Obnoxious posting his video on Tuesday that went viral over on the gun streamer, so you never know. Even you could have a viral video on the gun streamer. Well, what do you know? There's knives. Post another chat. It's almost like every single day he posts an 8-hour chat, and maybe sometimes twice a day. Let's see. India, a 6-hour lands military contract to build 72,000 SIG rifles for India. Production will be at their New Hampshire facility. Well, that's pretty cool. That's going to make a couple of bucks for New Hampshire. And gives India a bunch of SIGs. So I guess that's cool. Looks like a SIG 716. Looks like an AR-15 looking thing. Is that a piston gun? Something about it makes me want to think it's a piston gun. Then there's our daily gun show on the Monday. Ellis was live on Monday. Angelina had a hangout going. It looks like in the evening on Monday. Clover posted a thing about his Flood Life stickers that he just got on Monday, as well as Blue Steel posted a thing about anti-gun Chicago alderman Ed Burke charged with extortion. Had, I think it's going to say 20-something guns, 23 guns in his office. So first off, you can't see this guy, Patriot, but Gary, what do you think of this guy? Looks like a fucking cartoon or like a puppet or something, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love that pinstripe suit. That's
yeah, what
different.
the fuck is that suit? That suit, he has a suit on that makes you want to go push him the fuck over. Like, what the fuck? Who the fuck wears this suit around? It's like the kind of obnoxious ass suit a gangster would wear back in the day to piss people
That's
off.
exactly what it looks like.
What a fucking suit. And then you go down to this picture, and what the fuck is this? He looks like some kind of mobster in the fucking 20s or something.
Looks like Columbo with that trench coat.
Looks ridiculous. So, yeah, I just want to push this guy over. Fucking 23 guns. So basically, and these are all just like some kind of gun nut, I guess. He goes, Ed Burke, Chicago's longest serving alderman, whatever the fuck that is. I think that just means like some political entity that hangs out in like neighborhoods. One of the most powerful, was charged with extortion in federal court. The chairman of the city's finance committee, who's been in office for 50 years, after succeeding his father, knows a thing or two about money, or at least having that position. According to federal investigators, the former city cop used his power to tie up the business licensing process for a Southwest Chicago Burger King restaurant to force the owners to steer their legal business to his firm. So he is I don't know what the fuck he is, but he's something, and he forced the Burger King to work with him or whatever. So they went to arrest him. And let's see, but in an almost Leland Yee-like twist, when the feds raided the allegedly corrupt alderman's offices, they found longtime gun control proponent was armed to the teeth. So federal prosecutors revealed Thursday that nearly 24 firearms were discovered in Alderman Ed Burke's offices during their raids. So that's his offices alone. It is still not known if the guns found in November were discovered at Burke's ward office or at City Hall, but it's hard to miss the irony of a staunch gun control advocate having to turn over 23 guns as a condition of his bond. 23 guns in his office. Embodiment of the city's corrupt political machine, a man who has campaigned for decades on gun control and Second Amendment restrictions, was found to have 23 firearms in his office.
That's one way to control guns, is to get them all in your office.
There you go. Exactly. No one else can have them. Let's see. There's no word on how many he may have had in his home. If anti-gun politicians didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any at all. Yet this is another fine example of authoritarian ruling class living blah, 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 blah. So basically they're bitching about this guy. He looks like a fucking cartoon character who I believe needs to be pushed over because he looks fucking like an asshole. Let's see. You know what I wanted to do when I seen that one? I wanted to like start a cartoon series of like anti-gun dicks and just like put him on the list because of that stupid suit for the most part, and then that stupid ass jacket. And he's in Chicago. Like, what an asshole to wear like old gangster suit in Chicago. And his dad was a fucking alderman before. He's been an alderman for 50 years, so you know he's like probably stewing in those old ass gangster juices, right?
It's probably his dad's old suit.
Seriously. And how much does that fucking suit cost? You can just tell by looking at it that suit costs more than like a regular normal person would eat, like a family would eat in a year, right? Like their whole like food budget for a year.
Yeah.
Asshole. So anyway, Artisan Tony posted something of some kind of old book. It says he's a sucker for old books. This is one called Gunsmithing by Roy F. Dunlap. So I don't know what it is, but I'm sure all the reloaders are envious of him. And then we're pretty much getting to the beginning of Sunday. Travis did a quick live unboxing of his tack pack. I'm pretty sure he gets for nothing because he's in the pocket of big tack pack. PBR posted something about somebody pointing out his concealed carry gun. And we're pretty much at the beginning of Monday. That's when Knives started the day off with his live chat. And then we get into Sunday and the ending shows. There's Patriot's picture of Gizzard hanging out at some dinner or lunch or something.
That was
I didn't authorize that picture, by the way.
It looks like a staged picture.
I think the guy walks around to talk to, the guy, the chicken. I think his name is Drumstick, and he walks around the restaurant talking to kids until they cry, and then he leaves. They came over to the party because the step grandma's birthday or whatever. Anyway, she was talking to him. She wanted a picture with them, so I was quick on the draw, but he didn't get me. So.
All right, well, I guess we were done with looking at the thing, but now we got a bunch of comments I have been neglecting. So we'll scroll back. We're looking at the gun channel site because it's better. And as he's saying, welcome to Illinois. Laws for thee, not for me. That's a pretty good one. Hashtag laws for thee. Wait, laws for thee, not for me. Guy is saying, should I become a reserve officer in California just to spread my skill tree and have more constitutional cops in law enforcement? Interesting. I've thought about it. In Arizona, was it here? Yeah, I think it was here for a while. When I first got my cop car, I was thinking about being, I forget what they call it here, associate cop, or what's it called? Something with an A. But anyway, if you become one, you can...
Advocate?
No,
that's...
I don't remember, but it was something like and it was a sheriff anyway. It wasn't police or anything, but it was, you do like, what am I trying to think of?
Apprenticeship?
No, it was for old people. It wasn't for anybody like new kids. But, funerals what I'm trying to think of, where you need the processions to get through lights and stuff. They do that kind of thing. I'm assuming parades and that kind of thing. But from what I was told, if you did enough volunteer work, they'd give you a cop car. And I was like, well, I'll fucking do volunteer work for a cop car. Plus you're sworn, I think, or I don't know if you get sworn if they give you a cop car or not, but I wanted a real cop car. That would have been cool. But that's not really the motivation to do it, right? Just to get the cop car. Let's see, California doesn't have enough people to confiscate guns in their own state, but they want confiscation orders for the whole country. Interesting. That's an excellent observation of that. And that's one of those things I think it's sort of like the Nevada thing, right? Like part of our job has to be that, like understanding what they're actually asking for so that as they're debating whether or not it should be taken, that step should be taken, we can challenge them on how do you actually do that step. Like quit fucking putting stuff up that's unreasonable or impossible. Like put stuff up that's actually reasonable. And if you want something like gun confiscation, then, be reasonable. Like how are you going to actually pay for it or facilitate it, right? But let's see. Bill was put together by I think we got it all on that side. Go look back at the side that hates our property, hates the laws that we want, hates the society that we want, hates us, I'm pretty sure. Definitely hates my content, probably hates most of your content, but we're gonna read your comments. That's where we named that one kid. Am I on Top Chat? Look at this. This stupid platform puts it on Top Chat, even for my own, looking at my own comments. There's 20 of you. There's not that many comments. All right. Mental health problems, that's not vague. Yeah, that's true. I think that's one of the reasons they want to go after mental health, because it's not like a math, right? It's not like a science where they can say, oh, you broke your arm. It's broken here. You got a broken brain, we think, so you shouldn't have guns. They love that. Guy that comments, what if they can't do it with their current numbers, but recruit China, Russian, UN to confiscate? Luckily, UN puts those little blue helmets on.
Yeah.
China puts little red helmets on, and Russia, I don't know, they might be a little tougher. They bob around and they got green helmets, but load full mags. Daewoo. It's also a large push for Agenda 21. What's Agenda 21? That's like space or something? I don't know what Agenda 21. Scott saying, don't give California any ideas. Ash is saying that's actually kind of smart. Arm them and send them back to take back their own country. Oh, I think that's when we were talking about giving the illegals.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, send them back to.
Essentially, Illinois on a massive scale. I guess if we're not actually reading these in real time, it's tougher to figure out what they were talking about. Armament is wondering why Gary is still awake. Not quite one for you yet. Oh, no, it probably is one for you now.
106, yeah.
Yeah, that's like 2.
A free gun owner zone. I like that one. Free gun owner zone. How many people have gotten free guns in here? Anyone?
I haven't gotten mine yet. I'm waiting for it though. Sounds like a good idea.
I've got broken guns for free. I have found guns, and I've won guns. So I've gotten free guns in multiple different ways before. I might have even forgotten free guns that I've got over there. Oh, and then I've gotten guns for being an internet, whatever. Like I've gotten free guns for just, because I do stuff online. So I've gotten, I don't know if those are really free. You kind of work for those, but yeah.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I got a free gun, but I don't know whatever happened to it.
Wait a minute, do I gotta get my violin music?
Nope.
Okay.
Because I think that's the only free one I've got.
So Scott's saying man bun? I think that's what I was trying to think of before.
Yeah, man bun.
Well, let's see. As I was thinking, he looks like a loser Capone. Exactly. He looks like some kind of weird Capone looking new Capone or something. Armament's saying they talking about Columbo showing your age. So I guess, but they're on reruns. But did anybody watch Columbo live, like in real life on TV?
Yes, I did.
I'm pretty sure I did. My grandma loved that kind of stuff. I don't know if I did, but I'm pretty sure I did. It wasn't like a show I would watch, but I'm almost positive I was sitting there playing Legos or something in front of the TV with it on. But I watched the hell out of it. I've probably seen every episode because once it was on, was it on like Lifetime or Hallmark or one of those weird channels on cable back when cable never had cable? And I think I couldn't get enough of Columbo. I really, really liked that show. Columbo fans or no?
Yeah.
I always did like that show. Yeah.
Everything. The car is cool. Columbo's cool. The dog's cool. Like the way that they did it, right? They would show you the bad guy. So you, most of the time, you knew what happened and who did it and everything. So it wasn't like so much a mystery as much as like how he's going to figure it out, I guess, right?
And I believe his overcoat is in the Smithsonian now.
I wouldn't be surprised. And of course, the worst part about it is he never used a gun ever. He was one of those MacGyver dudes, hated guns or what.
Had a cigar though.
Columbo has a scar?
Yeah, didn't he have a cigar in his hand all the time?
Oh, they said a scar. Yeah, a
Oh,
cigar.
yeah.
Cigar, yeah.
There's that's definitely a prop he uses quite a bit.
Yeah.
All right, so that reminds me, I was over at a friend's house and Ashton and I missed the ashtray, you hit the ground. It's like a friend of mine who doesn't smoke, so he's an idiot. Went to try to pick it up, like the ash part. You can't, it doesn't exist. Like it looks like it exists, but it's just nothing. And as soon as you touch it, it crushes into even less of nothing, an ash from a cigarette. And it was hilarious because he's like, oh, let me get that. And he went to go pick it up and he should have just said, let me smash that into the carpet for you. Because that's pretty much what he did. He tried to pick it up and in the attempt of picking it up, crammed it, made a big gray mark in the carpet.
If you're really careful, you can take like a piece of paper and slip underneath it, and maybe carry it to a trash can. That's your only hope.
And like to blow it onto the piece of paper, but not like, especially on a white carpet. It was pretty bad. But anyway, some maybe think Columbo because he did shit like that when he needed to, right? When he was like trying to piss off like some murderer. You're like, let's try to use your ashtray. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, let me ask you a question about where you were on Thursday.
Oh, just another thing.
Yeah, just one more thing.
One more thing. And yeah, he reads books good too. Princess Bride.
Oh, I don't know that one. That's all over my head. I've only seen that movie once, and I never watched it. It was a girl movie. I thought it was a girl movie because it's called Princess. And then he was talking about it, or Matt and everybody kept talking about it for years. So I finally watched it, and I don't know why you guys like that movie so much.
He was the grandpa that was reading the story to, what's his name there? Wonder Years boy.
Yeah. All right, so then we got Prophet saying, "What's a goodie?" I don't know what that means. And then the tack pack is garbage. It was like Marco doesn't like the tack pack. What do you guys think of those boxes that have stuff in them that you get a subscription to? Are you fans of that concept or no?
I've watched people open them, and sometimes they're really good, but other times it's kind of like, I'm not sure what I'd do with half. I won one time and had this thing sent to me, and half of it I used, half of it I gave away to other people. So I'm not sure I'd want to pay for it.
The ones that I really like are the Patreon things from gun channels. Those kind of packs, I like those. But yeah, I guess if they sent me a flashlight or a knife or something, but
this was like a battle box that somebody had opened on air, and then he gave it away to one of his patrons, and I happened to win it. So
yeah, I mean, if they
got a cool pocket knife out of it, though.
I like the idea of like, I've seen ones for like dog toys. Like every month you get, like, you tell them what kind of dog you got, if it's like a water dog or a little tiny dog or whatever, right? So they give you the appropriate kind, and it probably costs different, but then you get like a new toy. And there's certain dogs, that rip through toys where why wouldn't you want a new toy every week or every month or whatever it comes out to, right? Because then your dog gets to experience something new, and then you learn what your dog likes or whatever, and that kind of seems neat, especially if there's like dog foods and treats and stuff in there and you're trying them. And then I've seen like the beer ones, of course, wine, I guess, but
Jam of the month,
like jelly.
Yeah, jelly of the month.
I've seen root beer though. There's this place, I think it's in Washington or Oregon, and they're like online root beer store, and they got like 1 billion different kinds of root beers from all around. Just like how craft beers are, but they're root beers, and then they would send you root beer, or I think actually 6 or something every month because they got so many of them, and that kind of thing seems really interesting. Maybe even like food, right? But yeah, like stuff. Like then it's like, but unless you're like the kind of person that really likes to regift, so hey, this is neat. Now I got to see it, something I might not have looked for, but kind of a random experience with stuff. But then if you know that you're planning on giving it, if you got like a lot of, I don't know what, like kids or grandkids or something where you're going to be giving it away anyway, and then it's just sort of like a random assortment of stuff that just comes in that you can keep moving on. But yeah, for just like having, like, it just seems like, because they pretty much do, like you say, like a knife, a light, like a certain amount of things every month. It's like, what do you need, 12 knives? Like, I guess you don't need them, but what are you going to do with 12 knives unless they're...
And if they're specific, like, I mean, if there was a camping one that's just camping gear or whatever, I mean, you could, there's all sorts of kind of little tools or, survival stuff, but with firearms, it's such a wide thing. I mean, how many, what 5.56 or 50 cal bottle openers do you need? It's the same thing, I guess. But I don't know. I've never done them. I'm not lucky enough to pick out one that I'd get stuff that was cool anyway. So my luck, they'd just send me all stickers. It's like.
That's part of it, is that you have to watch it for like a certain amount of time to know if it's got decent stuff in it, and then you got to assume that it's going to continue, right? Because they don't always seem to last, years and years and years, right? So I guess that would be a part of it too, right? Um, I'm reading some of the comments here. What are they talking about? You get a free gun off a Yankee?
Oh,
Yeah,
we were talking about getting free guns, and so they were throwing Yankee out there
Oh.
because he gives away free guns.
So 21 or Agenda 21. I guess I'm getting tired. Agenda 21 is some dark shit y'all should check out. One of its goals is global disarmament. All right. Is that like flat Earth dome stuff or alien stuff or?
UN.
Sounds like something that that AOC gal would be pushing.
I listened to NPR the other day. What was I driving? I was driving somewhere pretty far. Damn, I gotta go drive again tomorrow. And I was listening to NPR, and they did not, like NPR is fairly whatever left, right? And I mean, they weren't talking shit about her, but they certainly weren't talking with like reverence. Like, they were talking about her as they were talking about, like how well their granddaughter did on a test at school or something. Like they were kind of not almost dismissive. Maybe that's the word. So I don't know how. I know everybody's laughing at her and stuff, but I don't think she's being taken seriously by anyone, right? She's like just kind of walked in and she's young. I
don't know. For a while, I thought maybe she was the Democrats' new all-star or something. That's kind of like the way they were touting her for a while until they realized she was crazy.
Oh, see, that's the impression I have until I heard that NPR thing, and that was the first I got that like she's not, but like, oh, they understand that she's also like a unique peculiarity, but it's not like they were enthusiastic about her at all.
Yeah, I think the majority of them probably. I don't know, because there's a lot of the presidential, whatever you want to call them, we're kind of joining with what she was saying, but then there's obviously other ones that aren't, I don't know, more established. They're kind of wait your turn or something. I don't know if it's wait your turn or if they do think she's crazy. But.
All right, so I don't know what guy is saying here. Can we offshore filming Westworld to, ironically, Australia if door-to-door confiscation happens in the U.S.? Westworld, that new robot show?
Yeah.
I quit watching after a couple of seasons, I think.
It's not described, so I haven't watched it. Or it was, but like the first season. It's just like The Walking Dead. The first season was described, and then they did one since. So
if they don't get enough like requests, they might not, because that seems like a lot of work. It's hours and hours and hours.
There's groups. That's all they do. So, but I don't know. Most of the Netflix stuff is, but like that second season of Punisher, when it came out, that first day I jumped on there and none of it was described, and I got all pissy about it. And then a couple days later I checked it again and it was all described, so that was kind of nice. But yeah, the Westworld, that's the series. I don't know if it's still on or not, but it's no Yul Brynner.
No, it's a little different than that one. That one, I didn't like that movie. I did like the show.
Huh.
A UN agenda. Yeah, I'm no big fan of the UN. I wonder what's Trump say about the UN. He's not like anti-UN, I guess.
You don't really hear him talk about it. I know he talks about NATO, but nothing,
I want to keep my circuses going.
I don't know.
So Marco's saying it's totally dependent on what's in the box. Half the things the receivers can't use, and the people that make videos of it don't tell you they got it for free. Have some disclosure. Oh, whatever. And then tac packs are, I think he's saying, pure trash. I think I tend to agree, except for, I think I can see how it could be interesting. And I don't know, like Eric's when he started doing his to support his channel or whatever. I guess I could see that concept, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like more broad. I mean, with just guns, I guess if you, I'm trying to think. I don't seek out those reviews, but every once in a while, it'll be there, or I'm bored and it's the only thing on that's like, a video or something like on Instagram, and I'll see like a picture of one exploded view, and try to think like every once in a while you see something interesting. But yeah, I would say for the most part, I would. I'm assuming most of them are like $50 or more because the box itself's got to cost you $11 to ship. That's the part that I never even thought about it because it's just the shipping alone is like you got to provide enough value in the stuff that you can offset the $12 in shipping. Doesn't make sense.
And each one that puts out, they have different levels or something, but I don't know. I mean, where you pay for, the kit that throws out the knife every time. Well, then you're guaranteed a bunch of other, fluff or whatever, so that you're not just getting one thing. But I don't know if they could keep it specific or something. Maybe that would.
I mean, I could definitely see a patch every month or like a sticker, because then that way, you're collecting.
Yeah.
I can understand like an acquiring a collection like that part. Maybe even something like a coin or some other type of thing that, particular to the box. And I was saying earlier with the knife, I mean, yeah, I could definitely, there's knife nerds out there that would buy the shit out of knives, right? I don't think that, I don't know, see something like a knife or, I mean, like a mag loader or a range timer, like some of that stuff, I guess you'd be like, man, I don't want this. But I guess if you look at it like one time I got a box of 20 gauge accidentally. Like I was buying a bunch of ammo at a gun show or something, and I got this box of 20 gauge. It's like, what the hell am I going to do with this 20 gauge? I didn't even own one at the time. So I went out and bought one because I had a box of ammo for it. So maybe with that philosophy, you're like, well, now I have a timer. So maybe I'll go do something that needs a timer. Or like now I have goggles. Or now I have a thing that I can set my camera up to work through my optics. So maybe I'll go film some optics.
It might just spur you to do, other things. Kind of, you're getting some kind of. I don't know if it's actually, the money that you're spending is what you get something better or more than that, but showing up with something that you probably wouldn't buy that might spur off another habit or hobby, I think they call it, but I call them habits.
So I'm jumping back to the gun channel side. General is saying, I think IV or Eric's are 20, 50, and 75. And then, and that's how they usually are, right? Like they'll have like the patch of the month, or maybe like the T-shirt every once in a while or something like that at the low level. And then they'll add the knife or they'll add the ammo pack or something like that. Do any of them do ammo? That would be actually pretty cool. Ammo you could probably ship for more like, in the $11 or whatever easily. And you could put a different brand of ammo in there each time. That would be actually kind of neat. Then you buy the brand or like the caliber, I mean.
Well, there is a place that does that. Well, I can't remember what it was, but it was like a box of, you would get random, I guess it's random manufacturers, but you could say, hey, I want this, this, and this.
Or
I'll
like,
have to look.
These are the calibers that I'll accept. And then
And it's just a random supply, but it was I can't remember who did it though. There was like an ammo box, and it was but you got it cheaper because you were saying, hey, I'm gonna buy this, whatever, $50 a month, there's whatever it is, but you were kind of like signed up for it so that every month you would get basically a supply of whatever, but then they could change it and add stuff in it or something. I don't know what the company. There is a company that does it. I don't remember who.
Let's see. So then, scrolling up. Let's see. No, I don't know what that one is. And those are more of my favorites than the ones I picked out and paid for. Oh, wait. Oh, here we go. Free guns. Oh, shit. We're talking free guns over here. Okay, so we got some free guns. I've got 2 free guns. A broken Jennings J22 from a guy at work. Always asks for free guns or broken guns. And then I inherited my grandpa's Marlin 3030 lever action once it was broken. That's pretty cool. Ozzy's still waiting on a free gun. Just let people know you want free guns. Trust me, gun shops have broken guns. They just have laying around. A focusing on one inherited a few. Inherited don't count. That's taken on family legacy. That's not free. That's got the responsibility and burden of ownership. So we're talking free shit out of nowhere. Those are my favorites than the one they picked up and paid for. Oh, those are more of my favorites than the ones I picked out and paid for. Interesting. I got free Ruger 10. Oh, is it a Mark II? And I don't like Mark IIs. I had one for a little while back when I was a kid, and I didn't like it. And then I was just shooting. What the hell were we shooting? I didn't even want to shoot. There were these other. I don't. You know, I go to range day and I walk around. I don't usually pull triggers very often anymore. And this was when I was getting sick of pulling triggers or whatever. But everybody was hanging around the Ruger booth and doing this like little thing they had, this little contest. And I think it was like you could keep doing it, and they would take all your scores. So if you kept doing it and getting a better score, you know, you got a better odds of winning or whatever. And I think I ran the thing once or maybe twice, and somehow, like, you know, we laughed or whatever, and then I got some email or something that said I won a gun. So I got this free Mark II, but I can't say I like that. I mean, it was fun to win a gun for sure, but it's like almost annoying. So it's like, dang it, I don't like Mark IIs. I don't want it. But you know, I'm not going to not take it, right?
Well, yeah.
But it's still sitting there. I never shot it. It's just exactly in the box. I opened it once to look at it, and then it's been sitting in the corner of my safe, kind of sitting there, making sure the corner of my safe don't turn around. About it.
I think.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say tomorrow. You gave me an idea. I'm going to call my favorite shop and see if they got anything broken. I never thought to ask if they got broken stuff.
Oh yeah, ask every gun shop. Call around, and then, you know, what do you want for them, and then let them know your deal. Hey, I'm trying to play with them online or whatever. Maybe well, if you say you're going to gunsmith, they might want a couple of bucks, because sometimes they're like, oh well, heck if I can, or sometimes they'll give them to you. I guess it depends, but yeah, play around and you'll figure out what people want to hear. But most of the time, they just accumulate. Somebody will bring it in. Hey, can I get this gunsmithed? Sure. Oh, it's going to take us like more hours in gunsmithing than the gun's worth. Okay, I don't want it anymore. And they leave. I'm like, dang it. Now what are we going to do with this thing? Or else they'll sell them to somebody they know. So they'll start putting them on a shelf back there. And like, yeah, we got this guy that comes in every 8 months and collects up all our garbage. And if you know, they don't have no love for that guy. Usually he don't care what's in that garbage bin. Let's see.
That's a good idea.
Okay, so then, wait, did we already do the getting a surprise package every month? Does sound fun, but just no. So I thought that was a good one, because it does kind of sound good, but then I don't really like the idea of having another bill.
Yeah.
I don't do subscription things. I just buy what I need at the price point I can afford. I hate managing stuff. Well, that's another option, is that you are going to get a lot of stuff, unless you like to accumulate stuff, I guess. And that's the other thing, right? Most of the time, I shouldn't say most of the time, I've heard of definitely strategies where they'll go to a company and say, what do you got a lot of? Like, what's not selling? What can you sell me cheap? And if they say something like, what can you sell me cheap? What's going to go through the company's mind? What do we have a lot of? What's not selling, right?
Yeah.
Let's get rid of that. So if they're about to come out with the new Gizmo, what's the Majubes, and then, you know, last year they had the old Gizmo, blah, 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 then guess what's in your box, right? Is something that's just about to be replaced by the new one. And that would be frustrating if that's like past the old inventory type of scam. But I would think, again, people would get that right away, right? And I could see it working for things like a patch where that's like a creative thing and you're accumulating and it's neat, or the food, where you're experiencing something that's perishable. But I don't like gun lube. I don't know. Is it worth having a new gun lube come every month? I guess maybe it would be interesting for like a year.
I think the food thing would be bad if you're waiting until the next thing's coming out and it's like last year's. I don't know if I would eat the food.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about for that. Marco's saying, if you got the box for free and you're making a video about it, telling people you got it for free, why wouldn't you? What? If you get the box for free and you're making a video about it, tell the people you got it for free. Oh, I just assume everybody knows you got it for free. Nobody's making a box. Nobody's paying for a box and doing a video about it. People that paid for the box are opening their box, right? I guess I just always assume people who are making videos got it for nothing. But he's saying he'd get mad as hell if got a pair of 1911 grips, she doesn't have. And that would be, I guess, those boxes don't always, I guess if they're gun ones, I wonder if they do have tell us what kind of guns you got. Or else they just don't bother with like, we're never going to send you like a CZ optic mount because we don't know if you have a CZ or a Glock or whatever, right?
No. That's what I was saying, like the camping stuff, where you get a fire starter, a small little kit for water purification, or dry matches, or just random things like that. I guess because they're small.
And I haven't thought of that. Made me think of one that I have seen some like that are exactly what you're talking about, and they're more like if you look at like a year's worth, you're putting together a kit. Right, so it's like components that overall complement each other, and are either unique or like made here, or a different take on it or something. So it's like, oh, it's a can opener, but it's got chopsticks in it or something, right?
Yeah.
But another one we haven't thought about is, well, two more now that I thought about it. I'm gonna say this first one, which is like science kits for kids. Have you seen these? Where like it'll be like a science project each month. I think if you got kids, I would definitely recommend digging into one of those or more, because I can't even imagine if every week there was a new thing coming, like an art one, a science one, a music one, I don't know, some other one, then that would be cool, because a kid would, be able to look forward to it. And then I don't know. I think that one would be one that wouldn't wear out, because that you could constantly be adding new stuff to that. It would like literally always be new. And then same kind of thing, but like one that offers like a kit or a challenge or something. So like here's a compass and a book on how to compass or orienteer, and then some ranger beads for pacing and a sundial, so that it's on a theme, but then you're acquiring skill with it, or at least giving you some tips or tools to acquire a skill from it. Some of them are that kind of format, right?
Yeah, I've never really looked into them. I mean,
I don't have the spare money to do it, but I've been aware of them. People are trying to. I mean, they often try to give you one to unbox or whatever, and then you just hear about people doing different kind of strategies or whatever, chats or whatever. But I haven't really looked for them either. He's speaking of Dano. There's Dano.
Hey.
Hey, Dano.
I just quit driving for the night after having 2 shitty passengers.
Your camera's on, right?
Yes.
Let's see. So, Marco's saying, I want a gun that I hate, the GP100. The worst takedown ever. GP100's a revolver, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you mean cylinder release, that little stupid button? I like and don't like the Ruger button. What do you guys think of the Ruger button?
Well, do they have one like the Colt does?
No, Ruger's got the little shroudy looking lump, but then in the middle of it, there's literally a button, and you push in towards the center line of the receiver or the frame.
Yeah.
So you have to. Some people have to reposition their hand to get the force to push the button in. Others can do it with their thumb knuckle. But depends on how big your thumb is and how little the gun is, I guess.
I mean, that's a good question as far as major manufacturers or common manufacturers of revolvers. How many of them have the push forward, which is the more natural, versus push in or some other confangled movement?
Well, it's Smith, and everybody that copies off of Smith has the good one. And then
Right.
shitty-ass Colt has the stupidest thing in the world. And then Ruger's right in the middle with the fucking button, which isn't all that great. I mean, it's good, but then it's also a fucking button. So, like, anybody and their uncle can come by and push your fucking button while you're trying to kill them. So,
Right.
gotta be button ninja.
It boggles my mind why Colt does not change their design of their cylinder release. Isn't it obvious to everyone? Clearly,
I think it's a patent thing, right? They probably did that first because they invented the damn thing. And then Smith was like, hey, dumbasses, do it the other way. And then that was the difference between the two patents, probably, and they can't do nothing about it. I'm assuming because it's stupid. Why would they do it after all this time?
Because you got those Colt guys that just love those pistols, and that's what they're used to. And if you change it, then they would maybe.
Yeah, exactly. It's like tradition now, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's Marco's thing on gun channels. I'm trying to give him a link. Anyway, so we were talking about those boxes that come in the mail, like the random stuff you get each month type of thing, surprise boxes, whatever.
Yep, gearboxes.
Marco wants to know, though, how you're digging the passion fruit lip balm from Blue Force Gear.
The passion fruit lip balm is freaking fantastic.
Curls in your makeup. So one of the things at SHOT Show is swag, right? They put out stuff, like a lot of booths will put out like hard candy. I think people like to suck on hard candy or something. All right, your gizzard took off. So a lot of them will have hard candy, and then of course there's patches and other crap or whatever, pens and that kind of shit. And then a couple of them will have chapstick out, and it's amazing like how awesome that is, because you start getting chapped lips, different elevations, dryness, all these different reasons. And then I don't know, it must happen at every trade show, because it's like you can just tell some of the companies know what they're doing, and they got these chapsticks. But Blue Force Gear goes beyond. Like, they don't just label it. I guess they make their own or something. But it is pretty good.
It also makes a lot of sense from a marketing point of view, because it's not like in 5 minutes it's gone. It's like it's a reminder every time they use it, because you don't use it up in a day or a week.
Well, and like Marco, a lot of people will get a couple of 5 sticks and that lasts them all year, and they just get them again next year. And it's like literally, like you say, every time they take it out at the range, it says Blue Force Gear on it. So it is a pretty good one as far as swag goes.
Yeah. And I also want to thank Marco and Pink for the swag deliveries. Both of them did an outstanding job. I got hats for both of them, patches from both of them, as well as some other miscellaneous things. So thanks both to Marco as well as to Pink.
Now, have you taken a minute to go look at those patches on eBay?
You mean to buy them?
Yeah, like how much they're selling for?
No.
That was I don't know how many they ended up sending you, but that's a lot of money right there. They're selling for a lot of money. All right, so that is valuable swag you'll be able to purpose.
Well, if anybody's interested, I got probably 10 Glock bags. They stuffed in my bag when I bought that Browning. I was asking for some swag, and they gave me a couple more of those thermal cups, the Liberty Safe thermal to-go coffee cups. And he's like, oh, well, I'll give you this bag, and it's got the little handles on it, some Glock Perfection bag. And so I got a whole bunch of plastic bags. So if anybody wants one, let me know.
Oh, you're talking about like a shopping bag, like if you bought a bunch of stuff at the store and
Yeah.
they're in a bag, except it's like a Glock branded plastic bag.
Yeah, well, it's a thick one, and it's got handles put onto it, so it's not
Yeah.
like just a slot in there. It's the ones that have the handle where, if you bought a Glock, they would put your nice little case inside there, and you know. But I got those and a bunch of the pin. You know, they didn't have any patches, but
Those bags are actually pretty cool because then you can wad them up and like put them in an envelope and get them to somebody fairly efficiently. And if they've got like a man cave or a gun room or something, you open that thing up and it's basically a poster because it's just big, cool black rectangle that says Glock on it. All right. Well, with that, let's wrap it up. We started a little bit late and we ran pretty long. So thanks for everybody who's been watching live. Anybody that watches this in the future, let us know you're out there. You know, leave comments and thumbs or hearts or whatever the hell the platforms you might be listening to this on. Let us know you're out there. Encourage people to share the show. Or we want to encourage you to share the show and copy the URL and post it wherever it is you're chatting with people. And thanks again for the people that help keep our stuff going by buying stuff over at the Gear website store and participating over on Patreon. Patriot, I'm sure you'll be around throughout the weekend, and then on Wednesday with Rick's show. Dano's on often in the live conversations. Go check over on Gun Channels and see if anybody's live right now. Doesn't look like it, but everybody can feel free to go live over there. Oh, there he is. And
Did I lose my signal?
no, I think G just fell out. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering. Oh,
there
he's
he is.
back.
that's what happens when you try to talk and type at the same time too much. So I'm sending Marco a link. We can chat off here, but we'll wrap it up here. Thanks again for everybody watching, and got a bunch of stuff happening tomorrow. So see everybody then.